Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Joe Viscioni with sports, and Maddie Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. The relatively new Total Wine & More in the Crossroad Plaza at 34 Cambridge Street did not make it a full year before failing an alcohol compliance check. According to the most recent Board of Selectmen meeting agenda, the store's management was expected to be before the board for a hearing last week. However, they asked for more time and the board agreed to postpone the hearing until their February 11th meeting. When discussing the postponement, the board was told by Town Administrator John Petron that the Burlington Police Department conducted the sting over the holiday and attempted to address every establishment with a liquor license in town. There were a couple they weren't able to process, but they were able to hit the majority of businesses, and the Total Wine was the only one to fail. Under Board of Selectmen rules, any business that fails a compliance check will have its license suspended for 1 day, typically the next Monday after the hearing. If a business fails a second time within a certain time frame, it will be subject to a 5-day suspension. Increasing penalties include 10 days for a third offense and 15 days for a fourth offense. Total Wine & More opened on September 13th in the building that previously housed Bauer Hockey. It obtained the all-liquor license previously held by Buser Wine and Spirits that was located across the plaza before closing in early 2018. The first restaurant of the Burlington Mall's renovation project of the former Sears and Sears Automotive Center has been given the green light. Last Thursday, the Planning Board granted a special permit for Cava Mesa Grill that will be located in the new 35,000 square foot restaurant and retail building planned for the former Auto Center. According to paperwork filed with the town, the restaurant will occupy 2,545 square feet of the building and have seasonal outdoor patio seating. Started by three childhood friends, Ike Gregoropoulos, Chef Dimitri Moshevitis, and Ted Zenoristos, Cava is a fast casual Mediterranean restaurant. The Washington, D.C. based organization has expanded into the Massachusetts market in the last few years with locations in Dedham, Hingham, and Boston. This restaurant is now just part of a large plan for the former Sears locations. In the first floor of the main Sears stores, the mall plans to extend the mall corridor into the existing space, creating numerous small retail and restaurant locations. As said, there is also a plan to build a new building where the Auto Center was located to house small retail and restaurant locations. They will also build pedestrian-friendly connections between the two buildings and make improvements to landscaping and green space. One part of the plan calls for creation of a pocket park where the Sears Garden Center was located. It was an effort hindered by sleet and freezing rain, but the task to clear all of Burlington roads, including the smaller residential streets, came to an end, I believe on Tuesday after that freezing cold Monday. Department of Public Works Director John Sanchez told BNews in an interview on Wednesday afternoon that though the total accumulation of snow was less than forecasted, the job was made particularly difficult by fluctuations in the weather. Still, he said he gives his crew and hired contractors a lot of credit. Sanchez said his department stated treating the roads on Saturday evening, pre-treating, and that crews worked throughout the night to clear the major roads to allow for safe travel. That part, he said, was routine, but then Sunday's switch over to icier conditions hampered things. Monday brought even colder temperatures in the low single digits, which made getting up the last layer of ice difficult, especially on smaller roads where it had more time to accumulate before plows could reach them. At the height of the storm, the DPW had 65 pieces of equipment clearing the roads. Though those numbers were cut back on Sunday, Sanchez said he didn't have the exact figures, but estimated they used over 500 tons of salt, and that in total the clearing operation likely cost well over $100,000 in total. Newly arrived in Burlington, Workbar offers state-of-the-art co-working spaces, private offices, and enterprise suites for all levels of business, providing an inspiring and energetic environment for all endeavors to achieve more. BNews reporter John Vias and Tad Stefanak have this report.
Burlington's thriving suburban economy has drawn many businesses, now attracting an enterprise that provides businesses with a brick-and-mortar presence. Celebrating their 10th anniversary, Workbar means business.
Workbar is a growing community of co-working spaces. We have 9 locations currently, opening our 10th in March. We provide office services, places to work, really also a community and networking opportunities for people.
Burlington was one of the first markets that we looked at along the sort of 128 loop when we were thinking of expanding out into the suburban market and bringing co-working and all the innovation and community aspects that come along with it out to the suburbs. And mainly because it is really considered the technology highway of Massachusetts, and we knew a lot of companies were out here that could benefit from our style of working.
Workbar has clients of all levels of commerce.
Entrepreneurs, large enterprise companies as well.
Anybody from sort of the single solo entrepreneur all the way up to Fortune 500 companies have used Workbar. Facebook has used Workbar.
And people who maybe work from home and want to get out of the house.
On this particular occasion, Workbar was hosting a Mass Innovation Nights event.
Mass Innovation Nights is a monthly product launch party and networking event. Every month we help launch at least 10 new products, and we get the social media community to come out and blog and tweet and post video and pictures. So in a single night we can generate a lot of visibility for local companies. We've been running Mass Innovation Nights for 10 years now, and in those 10 years we've launched over 1,200 new products that have gotten more than $3 billion in funding. We've been doing this for so long, and we provide so much visibility for free for entrepreneurs that a lot of people are really interested in using our services. Obviously, we love Workbar. They are so supportive of our efforts. They've hosted many of our events over the years at many of their different locations, and tonight they are sponsoring and hosting our event.
We're part of the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce. They've been such a great help in building our network, so we love working with them.
We want everybody to feel welcome, everybody to come in, and everybody have a productive place to get some work done and have fun. It's a real nice blend of a work-life balance.
So we're here, and we'd love to have you come check out the space. We provide office services, like I said, also conference room space. So if you're looking to hold meetings, we've got that here as well. And we really welcome opportunities to network with everybody who's in the community as well. So come check us out, and we're really happy to be here.
From Burlington Workbar, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak. Back to you in the studio.
Did you or someone you know receive Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program payments early? If so, be careful to spend wisely over the next month, because that could be the only payment you'll see for the month of February. According to the Mass Department of Transitional Assistance, due to the partial government shutdown on Wednesday, most SNAP recipients were expected to receive their February payouts between January 17th and 20th, and they will not get another payment in February. During this time, recipients can use their SNAP benefits at any retailer that regularly accepts SNAP benefits. EBT cards will be accepted at any normally approved locations throughout the month of February. The Department of Transitional Assistance says that if you need additional food resources, they are out there, and to contact local food pantries and local government programs. The Burlington Food Pantry, as reported regularly on BNews, has opened its doors to government workers. For more information on a SNAP program under the government shutdown, visit bcattv.org/bnews, although this may not be necessary since word out of Washington is that there's some sort of a tentative deal that has been reached. Representative Ken Gordon has filed 2 bills that will directly help Massachusetts federal workers who have been furloughed into the federal shutdown. These bills would define the workers as specifically eligible for unemployment insurance benefits and eliminate the 1-week waiting period usually required of unemployed workers, and remove the requirements that they repay benefits if they are provided full back pay upon their return to work. Nobody explained why they wouldn't be required to repay the money. The bills would amend UI requirements for the 45,000 federal workers who live in Massachusetts and whose jobs have been suspended during the current partial shutdown. They do not affect workers forced to report to their jobs without pay unless they resign due to their lack of an income. They do not amend UN laws in general. On Friday afternoon, right before the taping of this program, President Donald Trump announced an end to the government shutdown and said an agreement had been reached to fund the government for 3 weeks. Reached by phone, Representative Gordon said the plans to continue with the legislation in the event of the shutdown The government is shut down again if negotiations break down between the president and Democrats in Congress. Fans of superheroes, sci-fi, and all things pop culture should be pleased to hear a new business has opened in Burlington. Counterplay Comics opened in the Colonial Park Village Plaza off of Cambridge Street at the end of last month. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty paid them a visit to learn more about the store and what they have to offer.
Good news for all the Jedi, sorcerers, and true believers of Burlington. Counterplay Comics, a store specializing in comics, collectibles, and all things pop culture, opened its doors in town at the end of last year. Originally based in the Woburn Mall and facing an uncertain future, the current owners, Eric and Amy Carter, took the opportunity to take the store in a new direction.
I've been working for different comic book stores for almost 30 years, either part-time, full-time, So yeah, it's always been a huge part of my life.
I've always been into comic books since I was a little kid. I found my mother's and my uncle's old comic books at my grandmother's house and just kind of got hooked there. But comics has always been in our blood.
Counterplay offers a wide variety of merchandise reaching every corner of pop culture, from comics and manga to toys and collectibles to games and vinyl records.
We definitely buy stuff. We do trade stuff as well. We haven't really had to go looking for anything. It's really been coming to us, whether word of mouth or just people, happen to come by, see the business, and we get collections that come through all the time.
The store also hosts regular game nights every week and monthly meetups for local creators to workshop their gaming projects with one another.
Once a month we host the Game Makers Guild, which is a group that comes in. They've all created their own games, and they play test them against one another. So they get the feedback and stuff, so they can try to get what they need to fix the game, improve the game, take away from the game, and so they can start their Kickstarters to get their games out there. It's pretty interesting. A lot of creativity.
Counterplay has garnered a strong following in its few months in town, being welcomed with open arms to the community.
It's been amazing. I mean,
yeah, the community has really accepted us. We're finding more and more people that come into the area that are glad we're here. A lot of our regular clientele, we're finding out, is much closer to us now. So it's been good.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
Department will have a new leader, at least for a while. Last week, Town Administrator John Petrin told the Board of Selectmen he is appointing Senior Building Inspector Andrew Ungerson to be Interim Building Inspector starting on February 8th. The appointment comes as current Building Inspector John Clancy is set to retire after 30 years of service to the town and probably 3 million square feet of buildings. Petrin said that because of how busy the department is, it cannot go without someone at the top spot. The building department oversees building permits, inspections, and other functions for commercial and residential projects. Petrin said Ungerson, who has also been with the department for roughly 30 years, would be the perfect fit to take the position as the town searches for long-term replacement for Clancy. The Board of Selectmen voted to waive the standard 15-day waiting period. Board Chair Chris Hartley said the decision to appoint Ungerson was a no-brainer. A Burlington soldier received some sweets to share with his platoon. Burlington Veterans Affairs posted on its Facebook page a photo of 4 soldiers holding boxes of candy and cards that were donated by Burlington children who, last fall, reached into their trick-or-treat bags and donated some of their precious candy for those serving our nation. From the amazing donations from children in town of Halloween candy and cards, we were able to mail 6 care packages to one of our own, PFC Dakota Irvine, a BHS graduate who is currently serving overseas, the Facebook post read. In response, PFC Irvine took a picture of himself and members of the platoon holding up their new bounty of treats. We received this awesome picture of him and some of the young men in the platoon, Veterans Affairs said in the post. What an amazing way to show appreciation for everything these brave men and women do day in and day out. We are thankful for those serving our country and for the love and support of our community. George Carpaccio is a historical performer who portrays the theoretical physicist Albert Einstein. He had a chance to stop by the Burlington Public Library, where he focused on Einstein's later years and his thoughts on political and social justice. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and files this report.
A well-known German-born theoretical physicist who developed the theory of relativity was seen in the streets of Burlington. The Burlington Public Library had a very special guest last week, George Capaccio, also known as Albert Einstein.
I've been a storyteller for a long time, and I found that it would be a challenge to, instead of my just telling stories from other cultures, how about if I became a character and told the stories from the point of view of the character? And since I knew about an organization in Cambridge called Solo Together, these are people who do historical characters, they inspired me to find someone I felt interested in enough to pursue, and Einstein seemed to be a great choice.
In the presentation, George focused on Einstein's views towards politics and social aspects.
My focus was on Einstein's middle years and later years. Not so much his science, but upon his work towards social justice, his opposition to racism and nuclear armaments. So less on Albert the scientist and more on the humanist and political activist.
In order for George to become Einstein, he had to do some investigating on the intelligent scientist.
I probably started doing the research about 9 years ago. And a lot of books, a lot of online resources, and so it's an effort. It's a process that continues. I'm still researching, still learning more. I keep notes on after every performance of what things that I felt were working. What do I have to keep refining my understanding of? Yeah. So it's been a long-term process, yeah.
Mr. Capaccio hopes the audience took something away from his talk about Albert Einstein.
I hope they'll see Einstein as a very complex person. He wasn't a sage. He may have been a prophet, but he was a human being. He had feet of clay. He made mistakes, and that to see him in all his complexity and still admire him for his gumption, his pursuit of the truth, no matter what.
From the Burlington Public Library, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Enjoy an evening of wine tasting, good food, and an auction with fellow Burlington residents while helping out a good cause. People Helping People announces that Bob Murray, owner of the Cafe Escadrille, will be hosting the 8th annual wine tasting and charity auction, his 8th annual, with all proceeds going to support the organization. The wine tasting and charity auction will be held at the Cafe Escadrille on Sunday, February 24th from 2 to 5. There will be wine tasting, gourmet appetizers, live auctions, and silent auctions. Tickets are $50. People Helping People says it is also pleased to announce that Frank Vizella, branch manager and assistant vice president of Northern Bank, has once again reached out to People Helping People, and for the 6th year will be the major sponsor for the event. The auction items this year promise to be unique, with dinners from many of the local restaurants in Burlington and tickets to many of the Boston sporting events. People Helping People is the umbrella organization for the Burlington Food Pantry, the Holiday Program and Wish Tree, and the Covenant for Basic Needs. In 2018, the Food Pantry distributed over 207,000 pounds of food to families in Burlington, an increase over previous years. This past December, the Wish Tree processed over 2,000 gifts for children. People Helping People also gave the seniors at the food pantry a small gift for the holiday season. In November, over 180 families in town were provided the fixings for Thanksgiving dinners. Tickets can be purchased through Janet Sullivan Fitzgerald, 6 Rita Ave, Sullivan at O'Sullivan FH, Sullivan FH Funeral Home, or just Sullivan FH at Comcast.net, 781-244-9519, or at Spencer Cleaners, 271 Cambridge Street. I see Danny DiTucci, and 240 Middlesex Turnpike also, or at Whole Bunch of Flowers, 326 Cambridge Street, Burlington. Hope to see you there. We've had our first major snowstorm of the season, followed by a couple of days of oddly warm days for February. For the latest forecast, we go down to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our weather center. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. Now, here we are. Hard to believe we are in the last week of January, and as we start out our period on Friday, we are going to be seeing temperatures that are going to be just about normal. So that's going to be a little bit different than what we've been seeing the past actually week or so, when we started out with those bone-chilling temperatures with the heavy snow and sleet, and then the heavy, heavy rain and the 60-degree weather we saw a couple of days ago. So a real roller coaster of a ride in terms of temps, but again, starting our period right about where we should be. Unfortunately, for those of us who like the warmer weather, that does mean our average highs are only in the mid-30s, and that's where it's going to be. So we're going to be, unfortunately, a long way away from these record highs of 57 that we've seen a couple of years ago here in the Burlington area. And as we get towards the end of the period, here we are already at the end of January, and our average highs, again, still stuck in the mid-30s. But unfortunately, when we get to this part of the week, it looks like we're going to be significantly lower than our average high temperatures. And I know that's not something a lot of you want to hear, but it's definitely a reality we're going to have to face. But of course, the one upside to all of this as we go further into the winter is the days keep getting longer and longer, so we're getting a little bit more sunshine out there. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going on with our precip and temps for the next 10 to 15 days in the Burlington area. And as you can see, up in our area here and across most of the northeast and all the way out into almost the northwest, looks like there's a chance for us to have above average precipitation. Now, that combined with some cold weather coming, of course, that might suggest that we could see a little bit more in the way of snow. However, as we go ahead into the middle of portion of the period, start of next week, doesn't look like we're going to see too much in the way of snow. But as we go ahead and take a look at what our expected temperatures are going to be for the next week or so, look at this. Almost the entire country is going to be seeing pretty high chances of below average temperatures. So unfortunately, us here in the New England area, in Burlington in particular, doesn't look like we're going to have any of those nice 50 and 60 degree temperatures like we saw the past day or so. So fortunately, if you want to go to where the warm weather is, you're going to have to head to California. Now, as we go ahead, let me show you what the weather and temps are going to be looking like for the next 7 days. And again, starting on Friday, we might see maybe some light flurries if you're out early in the morning going to work on Friday, as that big storm system departs our area. And again, temperatures about average in the mid-30s, but look at this at nighttime. Our temperatures are going to be going way down to about 10 degrees again, maybe even dropping into the single digits. Now, as we get into Saturday, start out our weekend, looks like we're going to have fairly pleasant conditions. It's going to be partly sunny, but it's going to be chilly out there, only in the high 20s. Now, as you can see on our map here, it looks like almost every other day we're going to see a chance of maybe some disturbances rolling through the Burlington area. That's why on Sunday we have a chance of maybe some light snow, maybe mixed with rain showers, and temperatures going up a little bit, back into the upper 30s to near 40. Monday, clearing out as you head back to work again, temperatures going back down to near freezing. Now, as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see a series of maybe weak disturbances passing by to our south, and that might bring us a chance of some scattered rain and snow here in the Burlington area. Doesn't look right now like it's going to be anything plowable. Looks like it's going to be more like just a nuisance and maybe some wet and icy roads out there. But again, on Tuesday, temperatures back up into the upper 30s, so that supports the chances of some rain and maybe ending out with some snow on Wednesday. But as we get into Thursday, this is where the real heart of the cold is going to be. I don't think we're going to be making it too much above 12 degrees on Thursday. And as we go into late Thursday night, early Friday morning, look at those temps. Looking like we're going to be starting out next Friday morning below 0. So everyone, get out there, stay warm, and enjoy the weather.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. Come and build your very own snowman. On Thursday, January 31st, from 4 to 4:45 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having an event called Snowman Story and Craft. Come and enjoy some stories about snowmen and make some marshmallow crafts. The event is for kids in grades K through 3rd. For more information, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Would you like to learn a new language? The Burlington Sons of Italy will be having their 12-week Italian spring semester course begin on Wednesday, February 6th. Registration for the 12-week spring semester will be at St. Margaret's School on Wynn Street on Wednesday, January 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. For more information, visit burlingtonsonsofitaly.org or call 781-272-0529. Submit your choice for the Hall of Fame. Through February 28th, the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be allowing nominations for the next inductees for the Hall of Fame. Each year, a new group of inductees will be recognized. If you know a person or group who you feel deserves to be honored, we encourage you to nominate them. Nomination forms and nominee eligibility can be found at burlingtonrecreation.org. You can also pick up hard copies available at the Parks and Recreation Department offices. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar.
Red Devils are still battling hard this winter season. For the latest in all the action, we go now to BNews sports reporter Joe Viscioni for this week's Sports Report.
Hello everyone, I'm Joe Viscioni for your weekly sports report. The state tournament for most teams hasn't started yet, but Burlington already has a state champion. Last weekend, the boys track and field team coached by Matt Carr won the Division IV state relays for the third straight year. At the meet, Burlington won 2 events. Christian Boyachev, Stephen Humphreys, Rashad Prakash, and Rojit Gurung ran the distance medley relay and finished first, setting a new BHS record in 10 minutes and 56 seconds. The Red Devils also won the shot put with a trio of Andrew Woods, Johnson Nagata, and Garrett Asher, combined for a distance of 128 feet and 0.25 inches. As for the upcoming state tournaments, several Red Devil teams are making a push to qualify. Don't let the boys hockey team's 5-6-2 overall record worry you. The Red Devils need to only finish first or second in the Middlesex League's Freedom Division, which they are very likely to do. In fact, last week's tie with Melrose was the first time all season that Burlington didn't beat a Freedom Division opponent. Coach Bob Conceition and this team will certainly try to win every single game for the rest of the season, but a Freedom Division title or second place finish will also advance the Devils. The basketball teams are back in action on Friday at home against Wilmington, and both teams desperately need a victory. Burlington's boys cruised to a win over the Wildcats early in the season, and the girls lost a close game. The action at Burlington High starts at around 5:15 on Friday. Anyways, that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Joe Viscioni, and back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week we have 2 photos of a natural phenomenon that residents were able to check out after watching Tom Brady and the Patriots beat the Kansas City Chiefs to secure a place in Super Bowl 53. They show the total lunar eclipse, colloquially called the blood moon, due to the reddish hue the moon takes on during the event. The close-up was sent in by Phyllis Neufeld, and the more distant photo was sent in by Sushila Patel. It was lucky they were able to snap the photos, as the next blood moon won't be seen in this area until May 2021. Thank you for the photos, Phyllis and Sushila. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members, friends, and pets, whatever you think is interesting and would like to share with us and the community. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photos of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, John Vias, Chris Flaherty, Peter Brown, Joe Viscioni, and Maddie Shipka. Thank you for joining us. Go Patriots.